Loving the intros these days.
They're nice.
Yeah, yeah. Must be Pixar. Where hiring them really made a difference.
Yeah, yeah. They're they do good work. Yeah. For a bargain company.
For a bargain company, yes. Well, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us on this Chill with Jim episode, where it is always business up top and pajamas on the bottom. I am your host, Jim McCarthy, and I am the client advocate for Strix, Louisiana. So my job is to make sure that our clients are set up with the best equipment, the best software, and the best possible IT solutions to help make sure that their businesses are running at optimal efficiency. We also
Big guns you
have,
got there.
yeah, I got to be careful. Okay, I didn't rip this shirt this time.
Do you have a concealed carry license? Because I mean, you got a shirt on that right now.
I'm working on it. Yes. So we also have Mr. Jokester over here, David DeArmond, with us, or as the telemarketers like to call him, David DeArmond.
Dearmond? Darmond? Yep, David DeOrman, owner of Strix, Louisiana. Thank you guys for being here. Looking forward to this. This planner and task and to do and all that kind of good stuff. This will be fun.
It will be a good one today. So a little bit about Strix before we get started. At Strix, Louisiana, we believe that there's always a better, simpler, more secure way to do just about everything in this world. So what that means to us is that we are constantly searching and adapting our own processes to make sure that we do indeed have the best solution in place. This includes for us as well as for our clients. We believe that part of this responsibility is to also educate our clients as well as the Facebook and other community out there as to maybe some of the current resources that are being used. We want to bring some awareness to security risks that are happening, go over some general IT trends that are happening in the world today. And every now and then, about once a month, we do like to do a productivity chill with Jim to help us all learn better ways to become more efficient, more productive, and to make our bosses, David DeArmond, happy. So, well, my boss. Maybe he's not all of our bosses
Yeah, I mean,
yet.
not yet.
So,
Jim,
yeah.
I don't. You got something on your back?
Oh, yeah. Did you hear a bell ring earlier? Because I
No,
got my wings. Finally
you
got
got
my
your
wings.
wings.
Yeah.
Nice, nice.
Yeah. Well, today's topic is planner and tasks and to do, I think. Are they all a match made in heaven? So I'm joining you from heaven right
From
now
heaven. That's good.
to make sure the match is actually made in heaven, was
That's
made in
good.
heaven. Yes,
Is made it.
is made
I
in.
mean, do you really know with heaven? Because it's got no beginning, no end, so it just always is, right?
It's, oh, man, we're going to go down some rabbit holes today, I feel. So, along with sharing these productivity tips and helpful ways to promote efficiency, we're going to actually concentrate on that today. We're going to talk about we're going to showcase and do a demo showing you the power of Microsoft Planner and Microsoft To Do. So Microsoft, what is Microsoft Planner? What is To Do? What is Tasks? So Microsoft Planner with Tasks, or Tasks by Planner, or Microsoft Planner. Uh, they keep changing the name so many times. It's one of those three combinations, maybe even a fourth combination to do with Planner and Tasks. But
Well, it probably depends on when you actually listen to this. If you're watching later on YouTube, then it could be 2 weeks down the road, and it might just be called Microsoft stuff at that point. So you just never
yeah,
know.
You never know. Actually, by the time you tune in tomorrow, it could be Microsoft stuff. It could be Microsoft schedulers.
Schedulers, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. So Microsoft, if you want to give us royalties, don't, feel free to. Um, but what Planner is, or Planner with Tasks, Task by Planner, is a Microsoft 365 app that provides a simple visual way to help organize teamwork and tasks. It's very similar to Slack or Trello when you look at it for tasks, as well as just general project management. They are similar, different in their own ways, but a lot of people know what Slack and Trello are, so we do like to relate it back to that. Microsoft Planner provides a hub for your team members to create plans, to organize and assign tasks to different users. You can check on the updates and the current statuses of these tasks through a very easy to understand dashboard. And it also provides like a centralized place where files can be shared. It gives visibility to your entire team. And what's nice about this is if you're paying for any of the Microsoft Office 365 or Microsoft 365 um, plans, you're probably already going to have this included. So you don't have to pay anything extra if you're already buying into Microsoft products. Microsoft To Do, which is another program that integrates with Planner and Tasks, is this is an intelligent task management app that makes it very easy to plan and manage your day. So Microsoft To Do is based off of the design, and you guys have probably all heard of this, or y'all have probably all heard of this, Wunderlist. So Microsoft actually purchased Wunderlist and has been implementing a lot of what they've done with Wunderlist into the To-Do app. It was slowly brought in more and more to copy that, or to use that framework as a way to develop Microsoft To Do, and it's smart. It's a little bit more personal and intuitive, and it's intuitive to itself, that it will help you stay organized. It's powered by a few different Microsoft 365 integrations. It does involve some intelligent algorithms that will help you along the way. And it's the first step on your journey to simplifying your task management and to really help you achieve a little bit more, or perhaps a lot more, depending on how organized you are with your day-to-day tasks. After those explanations, probably thinking, well, Jim, these apps, these applications, they sound very, very similar. And they are. The way that we like to explain it, the way that we use it internally, is Planner, or Tasks by Planner, is definitely more of a team-based solution, while To Do is more suited for an individual's everyday everyday work tasks. So there's a little bit about each, and actually for today, the best way, we believe, to the best, simplest, most secure way to do this is to, so I'm going to go ahead and do a demo for everyone. So what that will also mean is these wings behind me will stop distracting you from everything I'm saying. So let's go ahead. I'm going to share my screen, and let's
Yeah.
make sure. Yeah, go ahead, David.
As you're doing that, as you're getting your screen share up, I think what you're seeing here with all of the different names is the way that Microsoft kind of handles their innovation to an extent, or growth. They they go out and they buy things like Wunderlist, and they buy other companies and other technologies, and then they start melding them together. So they have their own application, and then they'll go buy something else, and then they'll offer them originally as two separate products, and then they'll start mixing it together. And so that's why you get a lot of these name changes, and kind of how we ended up here. This is really a long overdue melding of all of these different technologies that Microsoft has developed and bought over time.
It's a great point, and they do seem to do it often. We like to poke fun about it, but Sometimes it's actually for a reason, and sometimes it's just I think they like a better name. So, but today, we're gonna start out with planner or tasks by planner or planner with tasks, and I'm just gonna call it planner from now on, guys, because that's easiest for me. That's how I learned. That's what it was before. And so planners, first of all, how to access your planner. So you can do it by simply going to your portal, if I can spell it right, at .office.com, which is going to log you in to your Microsoft account. So you can see here, this is Jim's account. I have all my goodies on the top left here, and I can just go ahead and click right on Planner right here, which is named Planner in this location. So that's how I get into it, and that's how you can get in as well. There's a few different integrations we'll show along the way that you can get into it through other applications, but for now, we'll start with just opening it through your portal, your Microsoft. And so Planner, what Planner is, and I'll give you a little peek in here to our Planner hub. You can create different organization buckets or categories, not quite buckets, categories for some of the projects you're working on internally as a company. You can work on that, or you can plan them out as personal tasks as well. Like if you have any projects you're working on at the house, this is a great way to kind of just show or to keep you organized and to keep you on task here. So what I'm showing you is the Chillaxin with Jim for today. This is a planner I just made for today. And we're gonna go through just some of the simple basics along the way, get you familiar, and then go into a little bit more depth. So first things first. All right, I'm in my planner. I had created this planner, and I would like to add a task. And I'm just realizing now I didn't add a task for adding a planner. You can do that with new plan here on the left. You're going to name it whatever you'd like. You can make it public, private, and then you can add a little description here. So public is if you want this known to anyone throughout your organization. It does not mean the entire general public will get access to it. Or private is if this is something maybe I only want to share with a few members on my team, or is like I said, if I'm just using this for a personal project, I would go ahead and make that a private one. And so once you're inside, this is what Planner is going to look like. It's going to basically have the add task, add bucket categories up at the top. And what you can do from here is you can go ahead and start adding tasks. So like for today, we wanted to perform chill with Jim. So we can just type that in, hit enter, or press on the add task button, and boom, that pops up as a task. What's really nice is you can get into popping this out by hitting this is not a Hamburglar, is it, David? The three dots on the right. I think the Hamburglar
That's
is
the, yeah, that's the ellipse. Up here on the left is the hamburger. Hamburger, but yeah.
Hamburger. I always call it the Hamburglar. So,
yeah, that's a double hamburger right there because it's got two patties in the middle.
right. I like that you kept it brand non-specific. That was good. So you're going to click on the ellipse here, and you can actually pop this out, or you can click on, so ellipse gives you a few more options. Sorry, here I'm skipping over a little bit. Add a label, you can assign this, copy the task, move the task. So if you needed to move it, maybe this is not your first step, you can move it up or down. But what I like to do once I create the task is just go ahead and give it one click, and it's going to open up a lot more of those capabilities in a window that's easy to follow. So perform the chill with Jim. I'm going to want to go ahead and assign this to myself because I am the one doing it. If I had a color coding system here, I could make this green, and that's the color coder I always use. There's a few things in here, buckets, we're gonna get into that a little bit later, but you can update your progress here, in progress or completed. You can put a priority to it. So this is pretty important because we're doing it right now. Start date would have been today, and then the due date is as well today. Uh, if I wanted to, I could add a note. And what we really like here is the checklist option. So it gets a little messy if you just keep adding a task for everything you would like to do. So within this, we can go ahead and make a checklist. So like for today, I needed to log into Zoom and pull up my planner. So those are little subcategories or subtasks that are going to pop up right here underneath the task I just created. Uh, really cool. You can move these according to what order you would like. So it's very easy to maneuver and change as you go. And then what you do is when you complete that, so I already logged into Zoom. I'm going to go ahead and check that off. I did pull up my planner, as you guys can see here. So I'm going to check that off. And if I go back into the task, it's going to show me the things I've already done. In the past, I believe that some of these programs would delete those subcategories or tasks. So what that creates is a problem. You can't really go back and see what you've done. It's like someone deleting all of the steps taken in a ticket. You really can't go back and check those. So it's a great feature here. You can add attachments if you would like to have a file, a link, or you can even point it back to SharePoint, which is really cool. And along the way, so I'm going to go ahead, let's say we performed chill with Jim. So that's out of the way. We discussed our fields. I'm actually using Planner right now to make sure that I hit all of the things I want to show you during this demo. So I went over fields. I went over the checklist options. And then I showed you how to go ahead. You just click and drag and drop for the priority of these tasks. So I'm going to go ahead and said we completed it. And if I had my volume enabled right now, it does make a nice little ding for you. So it creates that Pavlov's dog accomplishment feeling. When you hear that ding, it feels good. And I got something done. What you can also do from within your planner as a whole is you can go ahead and add new members. So originally I just wanted this planner to be for me, but if I go ahead and for David, I can add him as a member to this planner and can either remove him or right now what he gets is he gets a little notification throughout Microsoft really in many different spots that, hey, Jim McCarthy added you to this planner. So it's great. It does work within your organization. I don't believe they have it where you can add members outside of the organization yet. So it would have to be someone within your company, unless I'm misspeaking on that. David, hop in and tell me I'm wrong, but I haven't found a way yet.
Yeah, I don't know of a way. If they're if they haven't added it already, I expect they will, because they are continuing to add that capability throughout Teams. It was already part of SharePoint, OneDrive, that sort of thing, but making it easier to work with other organizations, because really the point of the Microsoft 365 environment is for collaboration. And especially for small businesses, the collaboration goes well beyond internal within the organization. You're collaborating with all of the other organizations out there that are part of how you deliver your services or products. So um, uh, maybe they'll add that functionality.
I think we'll see it come out eventually here. So again, I went ahead, I added a member to my planner. That was David. And so now within that, since I've added David as a member, if I go back into my task here and I want to assign it, I'm no longer the only one in here. It's now me and it's David and I. It's now me and David and I, whatever it is. Uh, and so I can go ahead and make this task for David himself, which is cool. I can come in and you can give him a due date, like, hey, really need you to work on this. So let's go ahead and get this done by tomorrow. And then add your note here. So a note could be, David, assigning you this task. Let me know if you have any questions, or it can be a description of what exactly this whole task is about. And then go and add the checklists. And David will actually get notifications in his planner, in Teams as well, right? And I think possibly by, you're muted, and possibly by email as well. So they want to make sure that you get this in many different ways. And that's
Yeah,
some of
so I might throw you off script here, but let's just see. It did show up in my Teams here, so I'm gonna click it as done. So I assume if you close out of that, it should show it as done. Not yet. Takes a minute.
Yep. The integration does take a second, but what's cool about this is you will get, because Office 365 is making all of their products to be able to talk to themselves. So, oh, there you go. You can see now that David marked that task complete. And on my planner, since it is a team planner here, it took it right out. So pretty cool. And like I was saying, with the integrations here, Microsoft is really trying to get every single one, well, nearly every single one of these programs or applications they give you to talk to themselves, to talk to each other. And so that's some of what you'll see along the way. They do also have this thing called a bucket. And now what a bucket is, and actually I'm going to let David describe bucket because he does it a great description of this. We use buckets as basically as a concept before when we were doing things, and then Planner stole his idea. So David, can you tell us what a bucket is?
Well, yeah, I mean, a bucket is really kind of whatever you want it to be, but it's where you group things, and so it depends on how you're going to group things. Just like a bucket of water or a bucket of nails. If it's a bucket of water, you put all of the water in that particular bucket. If it's a bucket of nails, well, you put that in the nail bucket, and you don't put the nails in the water bucket because it's a water bucket. What this does is it allows you to organize your task based on however you want to do it. We've done it different ways within different planners. So some people like to use these buckets. You can maybe use the Eisenhower Matrix for something like this. Those things that
Nice.
you saw on the task, that it has the importance, but it doesn't necessarily show the urgency. And so you could have one bucket for urgent and another bucket for not urgent, and then you can use the importance on the ticket to know what category it goes in. Or you could create all 4 categories or buckets of the Eisenhower Matrix and put your task and move them around within there so that you know very quickly, okay, well, here's the important urgent stuff, here's the important not urgent stuff, and you can focus yourself in the right place. But maybe you want to do it different. We've had times where we have organize those buckets by client. And so if we have, let's say, a major project that we're doing, updating, I don't know, something in Microsoft 365 for all clients, we may create a bucket for each client, and it's the steps that you need to take for each and every client. Or like these were some major initiatives that we had going on, and we organized it based on its category. Is it with Strix? Is it something with our marketing? Is it something with our sales? Is it something with a particular client? So really, buckets it's just a way to organize your tasks into something that makes it more manageable. When you think about eating that elephant, you know what they say, that you take one bite at a time. Well, this directs you on which bite to take, and that elephant doesn't look so big when it's broken up into little buckets, and you just have to eat the little bits of it bucket by bucket.
Great explanation. And in case you're wondering, what is the Eisenhower Matrix? Well, first of all, shame on you. You haven't watched every single episode of Chill with Jim. So, send me an email. I'm going to send you a little reprimand to make sure that you attend from now on. But more seriously. You can go back to our YouTube page and check out the episode. We did an entire episode on what the Eisenhower Matrix is and how to use it. And that's a great idea, David. I like that one. And so it's really, yeah, it gives you categories. It gives you a bucket to put the similar items that you want to track inside. So we discussed that. Check it off the list. Bing. And move on to the next. So what about adding tasks or integrating Planner with Teams, which you can see my Teams is getting some activity down here. So let me show you some cool integrations here with Teams. What I did here is I did create a Chillaxin Planner demo. And so this is for, I think right now, I might be the only one in here, but what you can do within Teams is you can go ahead and attach by, or integrate through this little plus button here. You can go ahead and grab Tasks by Planner right here and click on it. And what that's going to do is that is going to create a new planner or new plan within our Teams channel here, or our team. I guess this is technically over, this is an entire team here. So what I'd like to do here is just do a demo, and we're going to create a new plan. We can go ahead and make sure that it does post to this channel, and I'm going to save it. And when that comes up, you're going to see here that, holy cow, now I can access my planner through Teams. And that's another powerful thing here, because what we can do is when we add a task, adding task, I don't get creative with the names here, people. So if we go back to our planner and I look at my planner hub, there is going to be a Chillaxin with Jim
Right up top.
planner that pops up right at the top. And so it does take, like I said, the integration does take a second to reflect, but boom, look at there. I hit my refresh and holy cow, now I have access to the same planner within Planner, the same plan within Planner, or I can do it within Teams. Pretty awesome integrations here. If I get my task done and I don't want to open up a new window and I don't really want to go to Planner, I just want to do it. I'm already working in Teams here. I check it off. I check it off, and guess what happens over here is it's going to go ahead and check it off for me as well. So very quick, very easy to use. It allows you to, instead of having to dance between the 2 or 3 programs, you can literally do it within just one here and save you a few seconds, save you a little bit of time of opening up the other. And so that was one of the things I wanted to show you here. It does work backwards as well. So if I were to add a task here, and it will show up in my Teams once it pops over here. And the same thing, when I check it off on my planner side, Teams is going to go ahead and reflect it. And that's by teammate. So it doesn't matter if I'm the one that does it. If David checks off his task, it's going to show in my Teams. It's going to show in my planner. It's really going to show in everything here. And so we go back to the demo planner here, and boom, my task has been uploaded, integrated or synced through Planner into Teams. So check it off either way, it's going to go disappear. And really nice integration there. Again, Microsoft is trying to make it so that you can really stay within one single pane of glass. You don't have to move in between each. And so that's a little bit about Planner there. I don't know if that's a lot of it or a little bit, but I do want to show you all the different ways we can use it. There's a lot more in here, but we would probably be here throughout most of the day. A few of the highlights here, you can export this to Excel, which will make a Excel worksheet out of all of the things you have listed. You can copy the plan so you can easily go ahead and create another one based off of that. And you can even add it to your Outlook. So some cool integrations. What we're going to move on to next is the Microsoft To-Do side of things. So To-Do, actually, you can get to it through your portal here as well, but I prefer to use the actual application. And To-Do is, like we said, it's definitely a more individually based kind of organization tool. So it's still going to integrate and talk with our team, but it's a little bit more easy for me to go ahead, hop into my To-Do and see what's going on, see what's important. And so as you can see here, I have some planned items that, look at that, perform chill with Jim. That was in Planner. So awesome that it's coming back from Planner, going into my To-Do as well, so I can see exactly what happened. A few other things that I'd like to do in the future, and they're all listed here. And so what's great about this is you can, and I'm going to pull this over here so I can follow my laid out, how I'm going to talk about this. You can also, within these To-Dos, with these To-Dos for you, you can pull them up and add a due date. You can set a reminder. You can make these repeating as well. And then the planned tasks here, those are all going to be things that, guess what, are on your planner and assigned to you. They might be assigned to you by someone else, or they might be assigned to you by yourself. So show to-dos and login and app. And so I'm doing that right now. I'm going to check that off and it makes that cool little sound. But let's say we want to kind of just start from the beginning here. So you can just go ahead and go to your tasks and you can add a task. So again, we're going to do a chill demo here. That's a task that I'd like to add to my to-dos. By clicking on it, I get all of these different options where I can add some steps. So open to do as part of what I'd like to do today. And so that's going to add a little subcategory, just like in Planner did. I can remind myself that I need to be doing this either today, tomorrow. I can pick a time, a date, which is really nice so I don't forget about it. I can add the due date. I can make these repeating weekly, daily, monthly, customize it. So even if I need every 5 days, I could go ahead and here and customize that. Add the files. So maybe there's an email that's related to this or a PDF that I'd like to relate to this. I can go ahead and add it there. And then Jim, stay on task. Add a little note for myself here. And that's all within the to-do thing. And to-do software, I apologize. And I checked off the show to-dos and it took away all of my to-dos in Planner. So let me open that back up. The other thing that you'll see here is add to my work, add to my day. So as you can see, because I'm so efficient, I have nothing to do today. I've done everything I needed to. So, well, that's probably because I just didn't add those steps or those tasks to my daily tasks for today. So I wanted to add that to my day and I go back to my day for today. And look, there's the chill demo comes on in, and this is another way. So you have all of these different planned assigned to you. You have all of these tasks. It gets it into a much more smaller bucket. So I don't have to be distracted by all that other stuff. I can just focus on what I need to do today and keep myself organized. What I liked about this is if you saw it earlier with my today is it does, and it went away. It gave us suggestions. And so the suggestions were actually coming in from my Outlook telling me that, hey, man, you got some flagged emails here that you flagged. Maybe you want to go ahead and add that to your day today. Uh, and that might be something I know for me, when I get emails, there's definitely some of them like how to listen with your eyes, some information I'd like to learn, especially for these Zoom things, to make sure that people know I'm still tuned in when I'm on a Zoom call. That might be something I would like to do today. So I could come here. It's a flagged email in my Outlook. I just add it to my day for today, and I go and I look, and look at that. It comes right up for me, so I don't have to remember to go back and look at my flagged emails. Within this, when I do, I want to show this real quick. If I set a reminder, let's say we're going to set the reminder for today at 2:37. That's 1 minute from now, Marty. I feel like I'm in Back to the Future. And I save it. So, oh, didn't save the time I wanted. So 2:37. It's going to be 37 by the time I do it. Save. So I'm going to get a reminder in less than a minute here, and I'll show you what that looks like, just so you can see how I'm going to be reminded. It does remind us in a few different areas to make sure that we do not miss it, so that if I don't have my to-do open, my to-do software program open, there's a different way it's going to tell me to make sure that I stay on these daily tasks. And if you look here, and I got the notification on my other screen, but it says within to do, hey Jim, you have this task, this to do coming up. I can snooze it so it will remind me later, or I can click on complete right from there. Let me see if it shows if I share my other screen. Let me know if you can see this, David. Can you see my,
Yes.
yeah. So again, it's a reminder within to do, showing me that I do have this task to accomplish, and I can snooze it, I can complete it, or I can just move it out of the way if that's what I'd like to do. Go back to my other screen here, and what is actually going to happen as well is within Outlook, which is something for me, I keep my Outlook open at all times because I want to know when I get emails, and it's one of those programs I hardly ever close. And so it's a great place to get reminders. And so within Outlook, I'm actually going to get a task or a reminder within here that's going to tell me the same exact thing that to-do did, that I have this task that I would like to complete today. And so if we look over here within my tasks, it's waiting to synchronize. It's going to go ahead and pull up in my reminders out of Outlook. And it hasn't yet, but it will, I promise you. And so another way for me to be reminded that, oh my gosh, I really want to check out this email. And that's where I'm seeing the true power of these integrations. At first I was like, geez, Microsoft, how much you want everything to talk to each other? This is, okay, let's just keep a few things separate. But when it comes to reminders, and when it comes to, like I was showing you with the Teams integrations here, it really is a good idea. And I don't know, David, how much this helps you with the integrations and how much you use this, but what are some of your thoughts on the program since I've been talking a lot?
Well, I mean, as far as integrations go, what I really like about it is all of these apps are also available on your phone. So there's a Teams app, there's a To-Do app, there is a Planner app, um, and so if you have To-Do on your phone, you're also going to get the reminder on your phone, and you can manage it there, and that's nice because um, if there's something that you need to do maybe outside of normal business hours, and it's something that you're probably going to forget because you've shut your computer down, you've gone out of the office, you're just doing something completely different, and hey, I'm gonna forget about this. You set that reminder and it pops up on your phone. Hey, you got to do this tonight. Oh yeah, thank goodness. So I like that. I love the fact that all of the applications are integrated. I love Teams because it brings everything all together into one place, and so I try to operate primarily out of Teams, but sometimes you need to look at your task, at what's going on, at your to-dos, and if you want to kind of break out of Teams and the whole environment, you can jump to this one, and you go into to do, and it's specifically built around your to do items, so it's much more efficient. And then when you go back to Teams, you see everything that you just did in the other application is reflected in Teams. So um, and if it's just one item that pops up in Teams, well, maybe you just mark it off in Teams, and that's going to disappear then in to do. So to me, it's phenomenal having all of the integrations, and I know Microsoft has continued to work um, on putting all of this together. So
Yes, and actually that was one thing I just you can sync to do, or does it all syncs through Planner, I guess, right?
yeah, your to do is, like you mentioned at the beginning, your to do that is Wunderlist. So if you're looking at to do and you used to use Wunderlist, you recognize this. They've done a couple of cosmetic things, but this is Wunderlist. Um, it's really built for you, whereas Teams is built for you as part of the greater team. So you will see the task by planner, but the reason they only have task by planner, and it will show you your to-dos in there as well. Um, but the reason it kind of started with planner and task is because Teams was more of the team environment. But if you don't mind, just click on the task by planner over there on the left in Teams, um,
I'm
toward the
sorry.
bottom. On the left nav, over you have Teams, calendar, calls, files, and tasks by planner.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and
That's what.
that's actually task by planner and to do. So
Mhm. Thank you.
this will pull everything together from your to do application, along with everything that's in planner, and bring it all into one place. So yeah, it kind of ties everything. This to me is kind of busy, the
Mm,
task by planner and to do. So if I'm trying to kind of manage my day and know exactly what I want to look at, I'm probably going to use the to do app. But if I need to take maybe a bigger look at things, then I'll go into task by planner. So
Thank you for pointing that out. Yes, I meant to show that so you can see how everything's talking to each other. And if you look in this one for tasks, I had chilling as a task. And so I think these wings are making my video do little strange things, but I'm still here. Just I'm actually a robot. So chilling, I want to say, hey, we chilled for the day. If I come back here, again, the integration's super powerful. So it's going to go ahead and mark this off in my Teams. Again, if I'm already in Teams, why do I want to go into another program unless there's a really good reason? David hit on it. This is a great place to quickly and a little more cleanly see what you're supposed to be on top of for the day. And within Teams, you can still get the same information. It's just a little bit less pretty, I guess, a little less organized. You can see my chilling task just went away from to do. And so again, just
yeah, I'd say it's a little less optimized. Teams is really what you use to access everything in one place. It's your the kind of the eagle eye sitting up at the top, seeing everything. You can get to everything from Teams, and that's the way it's built. But if you want to work a little bit more efficiently, then you may go into the particular applications that it came from.
Thank you for that
That's what I find.
clarification.
That's what I find.
Yes, that's a
And it honestly, it's different from everyone. It's interesting to talk to people that are using these tools, because someone else will grab a hold of them and handle theirs in a completely different way, um, and a very good way. Uh, Maybe doesn't work for me, but my way doesn't work for Jim. Jim's way doesn't work for somebody else. So it allows you that flexibility to work how you want to work, and it's really, it's coming from one platform. That's that's an amazing job that's been done with it.
yeah, and to relate some experience like back to that. So we've helped our clients along the way when new products come out, or if they're a new client and we just think, let's say Teams is going to be a perfect solution for them. All right, well, tell us how to use Teams. Okay, well, first thing is really, I mean, how do you want to structure it? You gotta step way back. You gotta step way back. Even with the planner, I think it's the same thing. Like, you don't just want a planner with a whole bunch of tasks. You really want to kind of look at the big picture. Like, let's create these little buckets. Let's create these little sections so that it's just not all open. So when our clients ask that, it's like, we'll show you the capabilities, but really when it comes to building the teams, when it comes to building out each of your planner, you know, all of these planners that you have, that's going to be a totally individual or organizational decision.
Yeah, and probably it's going to evolve. What we found every single time, and I'm talking internally. I'm not even talking about what, trying to work within a client's environment, but we start one way, and it's, we try to base it on how we're currently organized. But when you bring in the new technologies to your current organization and your current processes, and you see some additional functionalities and some efficiencies you can gain, it may require a change in your organization. It may require a change in your process. And so you end up organizing things a little bit different. And we have done that over and over. We iterate constantly, but that's what we do. We're always looking for that better, simpler, more secure way. And what that means is it's going to change over time. And I find that clients very often, like, they want to get it right the first time. And don't put that kind of pressure on yourself. You're not going to get it right the first time. And however you build it today that is right for today is probably not going to be right for tomorrow. So don't worry about it. Get in it, start working with it, build it to the best of your understanding of how you operate today, but be okay with having it change over time.
Yeah, you definitely have to embrace that. You might set it up this way, use it that way for 3 or 4 months, and then you have to rebuild, not basically rebuild the whole thing in some way. And I don't know, David, how many times, so we've been on, we were on Teams before Teams was a thing.
You say that, but when Strix first started, we were on the business productivity something suite, whatever, BPOS is what Microsoft called it, and that was the precursor to Microsoft 365 before Teams was even a thing. So we kind of, not a whole lot of people, especially in the small business world, used BPOS, but we kind of were on Teams before Teams was Teams.
And since getting the team involved in Teams, now I know how many times I've seen it, but as a rough guess, what would you say? How many times have you kind of had to scratch it and start over, or
Today
not?
or total?
Total as a big picture thing.
Yeah, big picture. I mean, since we adopted Teams, we've been through 3 or 4 different iterations, I would say, of how we organize things, and we've got teams that we've completely scrapped because it doesn't fit now that we see the capabilities of what we can do with Teams. This organization really doesn't fit, and a lot of times that means moving some of your plans from one team to another, or recreating them. It usually means moving some files that you had saved in one place, and now you need to move them to another place. I don't hesitate to do that sort of thing though, because uh, finding that better way to work is just, to me, that's exciting and worth the investment in time that you make up front in order to gain some efficiencies that you're going to experience day in and day out.
Yeah. And for me, I know I always promote it because what's great about it is if I just make some suggestions, this magic thing happens where David comes in and he makes it happen. So I don't even have to do any extra work. I can just, oh, this team isn't working, this planner isn't working, and then somehow my boss makes it work even better. Wow, pretty cool. It doesn't involve any work for me. So,
We might have to change. You shouldn't have said that out loud.
oh yeah. So next week we will not
Jim's
have
new role.
next week we will not have Chill with Jim because I will be rebuilding our entire Microsoft infrastructure here. Last thing, we just got a few minutes left anyways, but it is on my list of things to do well, it is a list of tasks in Planner, is to show you how to create a group within To Do. I'm gonna go ahead and just, because it makes me feel good about myself, I'm gonna check all these off because we nailed it. We hit all of them. We even hit some that we didn't even have on there. But what I would like to show you is within To Do here, you can again create kind of like a bucket. You're going to create a new group, and we can have this group Chill with Jim, and that group is going to just have whatever tasks that are related. I can just drag them in there. So show to dos, boom. Come on. And of course, I had to have one instance where it did it. But what I can do is, even though it says I can drag here to add to list, I'm going to go into the task itself and I'm going to go ahead and add it to a group. Where is it? Oh my gosh. Well, folks, I can't have the whole episode go super smooth, can I? David, am I missing something here? Anyway, there's a group and you can add things to the group. New list. So I could add my task in here.
You didn't have a list yet. You just have the group. So you need your list, and now you can probably drag things to your list.
Okay, let's see. David coming in for the win here. Thank you. I have to have one instance where I am stumbling over myself a little bit. So there you go. That shows how you can create a bucket or a group and drag over related things into that group. And I think we've covered quite a bit on each. And of course, what's great about these episodes is if you want to go back in time and kind of review what we talked about, or your team and you are just getting into either of these programs or Microsoft Teams, go ahead, go back to our YouTube, check them out and follow them along. What's cool about that is you can pause and fast forward as you need. So if I talk about something that's not applicable, just get me off the screen onto the next thing. So appreciate everybody coming out and joining us on this Chill with Jim episode. David, what's on the schedule for next week?
Yeah, so next week we're going to be talking about network segmentation. All right, segmentation. It's not just for insects anymore. We need to segment our networks. Next week we're going to talk about what that means and why we need to do that. It's a cybersecurity topic, so yeah, join us.
So we'll go ahead and drop that in the chat for all of those out there. You can also go to our Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube to check out any of these. And with the Facebook and LinkedIn, we are constantly promoting our next episode. So go ahead and check it out. Like us, follow us, all of that good stuff. I have to put the little sell it thing in there. it's not natural to me. So if it sounds weird, it's because it's not natural. So
You're talking
but
about the like it and all of
the
that stuff?
like it, the follow it, the
See, you should have never said anything.
join
I
us.
didn't even notice it made you uncomfortable.
There's that self-deprecation again. And doubting myself.
Yeah,
Don't doubt myself.
don't doubt yourself. There's enough people out there that will doubt for you. You don't need to add to them.
All
Be
right.
proud of yourself.
Amen. I mean, I got my wings today. So
You're an
come on.
angel. You are an angel.
All right, folks. Well, we really appreciate all of the support and joining us for today. Be sure to reach out to us anytime if you have any questions, and we will see you next week where it's the same chill time and the same chill network. Thank you for coming out and joining us. Adios.